to jump on here today and do a mini workshop on this piece of machinery called a Roman chair. Now, this is probably the exercise and the machine that I recommend the most, because most people, 70% of us, will experience back pain some point this year, 2025, or any given year. And it's only getting worse with postures, with mobile phone use, with computer use. We're getting more and more back pain. So the fact that we're sitting more is causing a lot of muscle weakness, and that's causing muscle pain and back pain, and can cause disc issues, and can, in other conditions like stenosis and arthritis of the lower back, you do have some inhibition of some of the muscles of the back, like multifidus. So this exercise is not just good for what they call non-specific lower back pain, which is muscular. It's actually even good for things like arthritis. And I've fixed a lot of cases of sciatica with extension-based exercises like hyperextensions and reverse hyperextensions as well. So the reverse hyperextension machine is quite expensive, but this piece of machinery is usually in every gym. So it's much more ubiquitous, and it's actually cheaper if you wanna purchase one yourself, which I recommend a lot of people to do that, because if they don't have gym membership, if they're not going to get down to a gym, they can actually manage their back pain and get better with this one piece of kit. All right, so I'll start with the machine. What you're basically doing is, a lot of the time, a lot of the day, we spend in this flex position, like this, on a computer, on our phones. And so this rounding of the spine, this flexion of the spine, can cause a lot of muscle weakness. It can cause inhibition of some muscles, and that can lead to pain. So we want to reverse that motion. We want to work extension. So traditionally there's exercises like the Cobra in yoga, which works a lot of extension based stuff, but that's passive extension. So the muscles aren't actually doing the work to keep that postural alignment. It's actually just a passive extension stretch. So what I've found in clinical practice for the last 15 years is that extension based exercises work the best for fixing lower back pain, and this is the easiest way to be able to do that, and the most efficient way. So what you do is you place your feet behind this pad to hold you in place, and then this pad should go below your hip line. So if you feel your waist, the top of your iliac crest, the top of this bone here, the pelvis bone, you want the pad to be lower than that. So it's lower than that, so it gives me space to be able to bend forward. Now you want to not hyperextend, so you don't want to go too far back like this, especially if you're experiencing pain. But from the extension, from a neutral position, which is probably around here, straight spine, you want to keep your hands by your ears, so your back is nice and straight in that stiff position, and then you want to train it through that stiff, straight position. So you're going through there, and then you're flexing down as far as you can comfortably, whilst maintaining that position, and then you're coming back. So the thing that most people miss with this is, I used to train at a gym, and I used to see lots of people do it, but I used to think they're not going to benefit from it, and they would actually probably save the amount, half the amount of times their back would go out. It probably decrease, because they were doing this piece of this exercise, or this extension based exercise. But the problem was that with a lot of exercises, is that people just go through the motions. So they're doing this, and they're not getting the full work from the muscle. Especially in rehab, it's really important to do eccentric loading, meaning that you go down super slow and then you come back up at a normal speed if you want to. And that way you'll get the most out of that exercise and that movement. So it's very, very important to slow this one down. So we're going to go in, we have our straight back, and then from this neutral position we go down as far as you can, and then you come back up. Nice. So you've taken that time. You can even pause at the bottom, and then you come back up. So that's the movement. That's the core meat and potatoes of this movement, is that extension. You'll feel your lower back tightening up through here. It means it's working the right area. So that's, if you're only going to listen to one part of the video, that's the part to listen to. That's the exercise. Do this once a week. If you're in back pain, you can do it up to 3 times a week. You need at least a day in between for those muscles to rest and recover. Otherwise, you're not going to get maximum benefit from the exercise. 3 days a week max, 1 day a week to maintain once you're pain free. And you want 1 set until failure. So You work the muscle until you can no longer keep that upright position, and your technique starts to get compromised, or you feel like you have to speed up to finish the rep. That's when those muscles are fatiguing, they're failing. And so you do 1 set until failure, at least once a week, maximum 3 times a week. So that's the weights, set and range. You do this body weight, you don't add weight at this point in time, particularly if you're in pain. So now we'll scale it back. Let's say you've got back pain and the thought of this is terrifying you. So when people have acute back pain, the way I get them started is with their feet in the machine, and they'll hold on to this and they'll lower themselves down as far as they can comfortably, and then they'll use this to bring themselves back up to neutral. So it's sort of like negatives. So they're working on the eccentric phase. It doesn't look like much, but it will help people build up to the point where they'll be able to do that motion pain-free, and their back will obviously be a lot stronger for it. And I can pretty much guarantee this with most people, with most cases, the stronger your back gets, the less pain you'll have. People train the big muscles like the biceps and the chest, but they miss the intrinsic muscles of the spine like multifidus. So it's very important to train your spine, not just the big muscles, and this exercise will do that. So that's the easiest way to start off. Then you'll progress to what I showed originally, which is the eccentric loading, going down slow, 1 set until failure. Then you'll get to a point where you think, well, I can get 20 reps, 25 reps comfortably, doing them super slow. My back is strong. Now I want to make my back bulletproof. How do I do that? So you can scale it even further. The best way that I've found to scale it is to use long levers. So you put your arms out 45 degrees, so they're not out here, they're not right here, they're at 45 degrees, and you add a small weight. Now that long lever creates a lot more tension through the spine. It makes the exercise a lot harder. So I'll show you without weight what I mean. So all of the exercises I'm going to show are without weight. This one is the only one with weight, and it's with small dumbbells. So it'll be 1 to 2 kg dumbbells. You have them in those hands. You hold your hands close to your ear level, but at a 45-degree angle, and then you'll go down 8 seconds, and then come back up. Go down 8 seconds, and then come back up. Now this makes the exercise exponentially harder because there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the spine. You have your thoracolumbar fascia, you have obviously your latissimus, your traps, which are also activated, your rhomboids. So that fascia, that connective tissue, attaches to the lower back as well. So even though this is making it more difficult for your upper back and your postural muscles, your upper cross, it also helps with the lower back as well. So this is a game changer. Once you can scale up to doing this exercise, your back is going to be pain-free in most cases. So there's that. The next way you can scale it is you do this little cross step here. So you have one leg in one plate and the other on the other, so you've crossed your legs over, and then keeping your back straight, you bend. This is called side bending anatomically. You side bend as far as you can comfortably, and then you come back to neutral position. And this works the muscles on the side, transversalis, obliques, and this is also important because you probably heard about core. Now core is not just the abs, it's also the lower back muscles, it's also the muscles on the side. Your core is a cylinder, so you have to train all of those elements. You can't be free of back pain if you're sitting for 8 hours a day and you don't train all elements of the core. At some point you will develop back pain. So it's very important, and you'd obviously do both sides. So you're working side bending, you're scaling it, you're working with just eccentric loading first, then from that you progress to slow eccentric hyperextensions, 1 set until failure. Then from that you progress to long lever hyperextensions, and then from that you progress to incorporating along with that these side hyperextensions. And this is what professionals use, this is what professional fighters use in order to rehabilitate their back, in order to be pain-free, and in order to be able to do what they love. So if it can work for somebody who's really stressing the body to the extreme, it can help most people in most cases. And again, I've saved people thousands of pounds from having to visit somebody like me on a regular basis by starting them on this regime, and it's helped so many people. I just can't praise it enough. and recommend it enough. So if you're unsure about your technique, about your form, because that is the key thing that people get wrong, there's lots of ways to do an exercise, and if you do it incorrectly, you won't you won't get the maximum benefit from the exercise. Same with anything else in life, right? You can follow a training plan, but if you're not doing the technique right, you won't get the maximum benefit, you won't progress. So if you're unsure about your form, just send me a video and I can critique it for you for free. But this, I'm confident, will make your back stronger. And as I said, if your back is stronger, you're much more likely to be pain-free. So hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.